Game only works if your value is high enough that a woman is attracted to your appearance, or resources such as money, power, or status. If not, then she will either brush you off or use you for validation. Now, I do know that many guys do get laid at some point with these game teachings. I don't mean to imply that game is a complete waste of time if you're looking to get laid, but it's certainly close to it. My criticism to game is this: the amount of money, time, and effort you have to put in game to actually have sex with women is by no means worth it. Every single guy who does game has to approach hundreds and hundreds of women to actually get laid with just a few. Let's put it this way: if you were to buy a car, a luxurious fast car like a Ferrari or a Lexus, but with the drawback that the car would not start in 95% of the times, would you buy it? Would you say it was a good car? Would you even say that this car worked? Because if when you approach a woman you have 95% chance that you won't have sex with her, then it's pretty obvious to me that actually succeeding at seducing her has much more to do with chance rather than game skills or being alpha. Let's be very intellectually honest here. Guys, a 95% chance of seducing someone is essentially the same hit rate that a guy with zero game would have just by approaching random women on the street. Simply put, one could argue that the reason that pickup artists get laid when they do is a byproduct of approaching a lot of women rather than actual skill. Famous pickup artist Mystery claimed to have had sexual contact with 52 women from 1990 to 1998. But he was also going out 4 times a week, approaching 3 women per hour on average.
Twice.
What do you do?
I do. I live in Miami. I'm here for a work conference, and I'm leaving tomorrow to New Zealand. Are you adventurous?
I'm a venture capitalist. I just sold $5 million.
And don't forget that many of these guys actually travel around famous sexual tourism spots like Thailand or Eastern Europe, which will end up inflating their in count. If game or being alpha actually worked, one would expect a much bigger hit rate than just 1% to 5%. People will often try to rationalize these things. For most guys, knowing game is the only competitive advantage they have when compared to others. This is all meaningless. If you actually tried game, you will recognize that you need to approach a lot to get a few. The most active rationalization is that a guy who knows game will still be better than a guy who doesn't, even if he has to approach a lot. I kind of doubt that, but even if it's true, then one probably expects to see an advantage of 2 or 3% hit rate, which is the same as saying that a pool would get 2 or 3% more girls than a normal guy in the same conditions. Wow, fantastic. Now you can say that my buddy Chad had sex with 1 new girl in 30 days because he knows game, up to which I will simply reply, that's a lie, or even if it's not a lie, your buddy is the exception, not the rule. Just like only 1% of the entrepreneur worldwide actually become rich. So simply put, game is a numbers game. Game is really complicated. Some people have it naturally. What we're basically talking about are evolutionary advantages, unconscious, and common triggers, tactics, and social expectations that people display when they want to seem attractive or they are attempting to attract someone. Game is a very small portion of attraction. There has to be other elements of compatibility: smell, social status, physical characteristics. 1,000 dynamics play into who someone is attracted to. What I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of value to game if you're trying to figure out how to make a meaningful connection with someone where the tendrils of attraction are already in place. A friend in college, for example, that you have a relationship with that you'd like to turn into a romantic connection. Someone with whom you already share some amount of bond. If for whatever reason those common gestures and rituals are foreign to you, learning them can have a really important and enriching impact on your life. But if you just want to bang strangers in bars, it's probably not the smartest approach. Realizing that the whole thing is a numbers game, it won't make much of a difference if you calibrated your direct opener with a push-pull neg, or you used the wrong opener, or you displayed too much interest by asking her number. I'm not gonna say that certain things don't contribute to success. Playing hard to get may work if the person is already interested. Keeping the person guessing about you're interested or not may work too. I also think that specific types of girls are more likely to fall for game stuff. It's not that the whole thing is completely worthless, but then again, it's not far from it either. Nobody becomes a playboy by learning game. The majority of girls the PUAs can pick up are a byproduct of approaching a lot. Unless you're exceptionally great at deception, you won't become a playboy. You should invest in looks, status, money, intelligence, kindness. Things like playing hard to get, push-pulling, club game, and so on are all overrated. Try things like social circle, fitness, spending time investing in yourself instead of game.